More pressure is being applied by dozens of members of Congress on the Transportation Secretary to immediately take action to make cars safer for women. The action comes on the heels of a series of reports from Investigate TV highlighting the gender disparity in safety on the road, a disparity in part attributable to the unequal use of female crash test dummies in the current crash test system. The 66 lawmakers, all Democrats, in a letter to Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, say they are pleased that the bipartisan Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act included a provision that requires the Government Accountability Office to study the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration's use of crash test dummies in vehicle safety tests, and mandates that NHTSA issue a report on the subject within a year. But they say that study does not go far enough.
It's a really serious problem. And so it is time for us to act and get NHTSA to follow through. The person that can make that happen is the Secretary of Transportation, Secretary Buttigieg.
Jan Schakowsky, the chair of the House Consumer Protection and Commerce Subcommittee, is one of 5 co-leads on the letter. She says that with the largest 6-month increase ever recorded in car fatalities during the first half of 2021, it's critical that the Department of Transportation immediately take additional measures to protect women drivers. Lawmakers, including 11 members of the Appropriations Committee, 12 members of the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee, and 8 members of the House Energy and Commerce Committee, are imploring Buttigieg to immediately and unilaterally transition federal testing to the most up-to-date crash test dummy technology for both male and female occupants.
So we want right now the latest generation of crash dummies. You know, this is not rocket science to be able to have the appropriate crash dummies to be available right now and to require all the tests that are needed to be done to help all these women that are dying on the road and being injured on the road to make sure that we have the protections that we need. These are very, very simple things that he can initiate on his own as the Secretary of Transportation.
They're also calling on the Transportation Department to require all tests, such as those in the new car assessment program, to use the most up-to-date male and female crash test dummy technology in both the driver and passenger seat tests. Chris O'Connor is the president and CEO of Humanetics, the leading global designer, manufacturer, and supplier of crash test dummies. His company produces the new technology lawmakers are calling for, technology that's been available for nearly a decade, but has yet to be adopted by the U.S., despite counterparts in Europe and in Asia already using it.
The fact that 73% of women are more likely to be injured, almost 20% more likely to die in the same crash, I think requires immediate movement. And so I think DOT Secretary Pete could make a significant change and an immediate change to say, we're not okay, we're going to make the change immediately, and has that authority to really do that.
So far, no direct response to the letter from Secretary Buttigieg or the Transportation Department. NHTSA told us in a statement the bipartisan infrastructure law will allow NHTSA to accelerate research to evaluate remaining gender disparities in fatality and injury outcomes and determine how to eliminate them. But lawmakers say that the administration needs to show they care about gender equity, not just talk about it.
He is in charge of all of the agencies that deal with highway safety, and he can make this happen. Short of that, I suppose we could go to the legislature, but that's a much more cumbersome process. And so that's why we are asking him to take the leadership role and to act on this quickly. There's just too much at stake.
In Washington, I'm John Decker.